Thank you, Crystal. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all taking care of yourselves. So far, everyone looks healthy. If you're sweating, I hope it's from the heat and not from any type of fever-like symptoms. Well, thank you for joining us. This is certainly an important announcement. Effective immediately through April 20th, I am suspending the execution of all eviction proceedings in Hillsborough County. I've been monitoring closely over the last several weeks the impact preventative measures to stop the spread of COVID-19 are having on our hardworking citizens in our community. With the abundant cancellations and postponements of sporting events, conferences, and the overall decline in activities, many businesses are contemplating layoffs, have reduced hours, or started to furlough employees. Yesterday's order from Governor DeSantis to close bars and nightclubs, and the decision by the Hillsborough County Emergency Policy Group to limit occupancy at restaurants will affect many within our Tampa Bay community. These decisions, which are essential to stop the spread of coronavirus and protect the health and welfare of everyone, will have a significant impact on how individuals live their lives and provide for themselves and their loved ones. Many residents are likely to face financial shortfalls and find it difficult to pay their rent or mortgages due to a temporary loss of income. For this reasons, all evictions within Hillsborough County will be suspended effective immediately. I cannot in good faith evict families from their homes because they are unable to work to pay their rent or mortgage during this national time of crisis. We must all come together as a society to help one another and show compassion for every one of our neighbors. And this also means while enforcing laws. I am fully aware the decision to temporarily suspend evictions will have an economic impact on landlords and property owners. And I ask for your understanding and spirit of cooperation as we all work through this national health emergency together. How do we ask people to shelter in place when we take their shelter from them? Removing people from the security of their homes during this vulnerable time would be a contradiction to our mission here at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office to protect and serve, and is also contrary to what we stand for as a community. To be clear, the Sheriff's Office will continue to accept writs of possession. Property owners and landlords may still file for evictions within the courts. However, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office will not execute any eviction orders during this suspension period. This temporary pause during a time of declared emergency at the federal, state, and local levels will not only serve to keep people in their homes where they are safe, it also allows us to utilize our law enforcement resources in a manner most beneficial to the safety and welfare of our entire community. At this time, I'm open to take any questions I can answer.
What led to this decision? I mean, obviously, we're in a different time, but did someone tell you this, or was this something that you saw doing in other cities?
In a time where we have a declared state of emergency and this health pandemic continues to spread, I think as a community, I need to be the symbol of hope and cooperation. I need to be the symbol where we don't put profit over people's safety. And there's no greater safety than the safety of an individual's home.
Sheriff, what's the status of the jails right now? Sheriff Walter inside the base said that they can't transfer prisoners because nobody's accepting them out of state. They face a crowded conditions. So how about your jails?
Yeah, we're fortunate. I think that our law enforcement partners in the community have done a wonderful job of determining how they're going to affect an arrest, including our own agency. We're doing everything we can not to arrest an individual, and that does not mean or equate that someone's not being held accountable for a crime they committed. We're issuing notices to appear, releasing them on their own recognizance whenever feasible. So the arrests are significantly down, lower than our daily average. I'm also exploring several different opportunities that we can take under declared state of emergency And as you all know, I will keep you guys will be the first to know. As soon as we make some type of decision, you guys will be the first to know. But we have room. We don't face an overcrowded jail population. I think we've done a great job taking preventative measures between our diversion programs, adult and juvenile, between the different execution of orders that we've relayed to our criminal justice partners and the different chiefs of police here. Everyone's been extremely understandable and cooperative to where we don't have an overcrowded jail here in Hillsborough County at this point. But again, we're exploring every opportunity possible, and I will relay what those are to you as soon as we make some concrete decisions.
And to that point, with some of those considerations, the letting people out for less than, I don't want to say serious crimes, but for minor offenses, or perhaps not arresting them.
It absolutely will entail releasing those who are awaiting pretrial, any type of pretrial conferences, people awaiting pretrial, anyone who's a nonviolent offender. Those will be the individuals that I will consider. Again, in good faith, I can't consider releasing a violent offender back into the community before they have their day in court. But anyone who's a nonviolent offender, those individuals will be the ones that I will consider releasing them, again, on their own recognizance. Their day in court will come. They just won't have to do it awaiting in one of our detention facilities.
Doing it in jails to make sure to the best extent that you can to see that this virus doesn't enter your facilities.
Well, first and foremost, it's making sure we don't put people into jails that don't need to unnecessarily be in a detention facility. Secondly is our screening process. We have an expansive screening process. If anyone's exhibiting any symptoms, we're trying to divert those individuals at the beginning. We do have a setup in the jail with self-contained cells that are self-circulating, where they won't affect other populations within our inmate population. They'll be immediately diverted if someone does come in and needs to be incarcerated. We're prepared for that. And then again, it's making sure we're encouraging our inmate population to take precautionary measures too, washing their hands, sanitizing their hands. We're trying to distance them as much as we can within the jail population. Again, doing everything we can to protect the detention facilities as far as our own employees. And part of that, again, is we just stopped all visitation at the jail. We've worked very well with our telephone provider. They've agreed to, for free, each inmate will have 2 5-minute phone calls a week to contact their family. I know this is a hardship, and there's a lot of anxiety that's being created, and I don't want the inmates to feel that anxiety. So I was happy, I was content canceling jail visitations, knowing that they still have a way to communicate with their families. The only person that's even allowed into the video visitation area or any of the lobbies is the legal representation, to make sure that our inmates still have access to that.
Back to the eviction proceedings, how many do you guys typically serve in a day or a week?
Well, we normally do on average about 763 a month. We have 250 that are currently awaiting service that we will suspend. They pay a non-refundable fee, but some of these individuals will self-evict themselves, and that happens on occasion. We get evictions and they leave the premise before we're able to serve the eviction. So this will have an economic impact on some of our landlords and our property owners. But again, we're not saying that these eviction processes won't be served. We're just going to delay the process until we can see where we're at for the next 30 days.
What if we're dealing with the situation where the person is violent or is a danger to the landlord or something like that? I know it's a case-by-case basis, but in that situation.
Yeah, everything will be certainly a case-by-case basis. But again, I've heard every different scenario. What if a tenant damages the property before we're able to evict them? Well, that's nothing that we don't face now. That tenant's still responsible for the financial property damages that they commit. Yes, there's a lot of discussion of curfew, discussion of closing businesses. I'm fortunate to be a member of the emergency policy group. We meet again tomorrow. I think it's important to remember that during a declared state of emergency in our county, the county administrator has the ultimate authority to decide what we're going to do. The other 9 members of the board, we simply recommend whatever changes. I certainly would be an advocate of of a curfew. I think that if we could do an 8-hour curfew in over those midnight hours, I think I would feel more comfortable knowing that we're helping to promote that at least 1/3 of the day our community is self-quarantining themselves. Again, that wouldn't include people at work or traveling to and from work. But again, those recommendations will be discussed tomorrow afternoon at the emergency policy group. And then the ultimate decision will be made by our county administrator.
Are you guys taking any kind of precautionary measures in the jails as far as recreational time or eating or, spacing things out?
Yes, when feasible, being outdoors, we know that's a good thing. So we're allowing them to be outdoors as much as possible and feasible. But other than that, it's just them taking precautionary measures. We know that the jail population's healthy. What we just have to do is make sure we protect them from an unhealthy person coming in and infecting those who are serving time inside of one of our detention facilities.
In making this decision about evictions, did you have any conversations with landlords, and kind of what was the response that you received?
I didn't. Again, I would hope that they would understand and be compassionate that in a declared state of emergency, when we're facing a health crisis, we can never put profit over people.
Any other questions?
Sure. Yesterday, the governor ordered that bars be closed for 30 days, restaurants have to close at 10 p.m. What are you doing in the county to ensure that is happening?
Yeah, at this point, obviously we can effect an arrest. That's a misdemeanor arrest. That's counterintuitive to everything that we're doing. So what we're focusing on is education and awareness. We're going to the different bar owners, restaurant owners, trying to keep them updated with the recent orders that have been issued, knowing that the orders are changing, by the hour sometimes. You guys, we report one order is being issued, we go out on a mission, and before we're done finishing the different restaurant owners and bar owners, they've already changed. So we're just trying to keep them educated and trying to ask for the cooperation. But that's a great question. I think that restaurant and bar owners have every incentive in the world to enforcing these set of rules, knowing that if they don't and the COVID-19 virus continues to spread, they have to be intelligent enough to know that the restrictions are going to become even more stringent.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you, everyone.